Page 60 and page 61. In these pieces I have done a few experiments looking into other materials such as a technique called marbling, which I have not explored, but I kept hearing it was similar to the shaving foam from which I done from a previous project, which I decided to actually look into. I got a good powder, marbling powder bath, which I left for 2 hours. Then I could add in ink. Doing this, I tried to use the end of a spoon, mixing all the ink, and then my first one I actually made a big mistake by pushing in the paper, as I didn't Google, I didn't ask how it was done at the previous start. This is the first one that I done. Actually, this is the first one, which I dipped in, pushing my fingers, where you can see the wild brown, the mixture of the ink swirling like water, which is what the marbling bath does, which then is lifted, and then I had to actually use my fingers and slide all the slime off of the paper so then it could dry. I laid it onto some paper, and then I got ready some clips and hanged it onto the curtain pole to dry. Thankfully none of it dripped, as it's quite hard to clean, especially when I had to remove all the liquid afterwards, which I believe I actually tipped it down the toilet, so then it would be quite safe compared to throwing outside, which was an environment hazard. In this second piece you can see the brand's view of stronger inks coming out from where they dropped all the way to the bottom and then they've resurfaced. This one was quite nice as it shows a strong colour and also some bubble gaps which are here. There's space where none of the ink got stuck, almost as if it burst somehow, which I'm still not sure about. And these two are the lighter shades. From these three I actually asked how to marble, which they done the same thing as shaving foam by laying the paper on, but instead of pushing it down lightly you just lift it up, which then I scraped off as much slime as I could again. I believe if I continue marbling I might get the hang of it, but for now I'm taking it out as an idea to my final pieces. It is good to see this style, but I just wanted to experiment with some new materials and techniques during each project, which this piece is resemblant to. I kind of need more practice and understand more about how it's done easily, because I've seen lots of different colours being added in and how they've made so much texture into it, but when I've done it I'm just a new beginner. I haven't got the hang of it and it's quite risky to even put this in the final idea, especially that I don't understand or don't know much about it. As for page 61, I have used some bubble mixture I had in the house, and I put a few drops of ink in little pots to separate from the actual big bubble mixture, which I've poured into the pots with the ink. Doing that I used the bubble rod and blew bubbles onto this paper, which is exhibited here. You can see where all the bubbles have landed in certain spots, and you can see all the splashes of the liquid, which I tried to avoid, but I didn't do a good job of that, because next time if I actually make this into my final ideas or into another project, I need to make sure that the rod is underneath the pot or even the plate, so then there won't be no splodges. So it's good to have it at the bottom of the page than it is at the top or everywhere. as you can't see the bubbles and the texture it has so much. In this one you can see the clear round edge, and there are more that are quite detailed, but it's very hard to see. It seems even if I use a really dark tone and mix it with this bubble mixture, it keeps appearing so light. It might be because of where the liquid's stretched into the bubble with all the blown of air that's made it so light. Because even if I mixed ink with a little bit of water, it would still be quite strong, but in this it's really, really faint. It is very nice to have this as a background, but for my piece I've already decided roughly on what materials I'll be using and techniques, but I liked the style of it as I can see the bubbles quite clearly, which I think is quite beautiful. But I won't be adding this in because of the splodges, which might be one of the reasons, because it takes away all the detail, and the details also are quite faint in some areas where I've used the green. You can see it in the darker versions, which is the purple and a few of the reds as well. As for the yellow, you can't see at all, even though I did begin from dark to light.